Greetings, Commanders. I am Commander Link Savage, and thanks for tuning in to Space Vehicle Virgins, the series where we take a look at and test drive the ships currently available to commanders of the Pilots Federation. This episode is sort of special. I got in a video from a pilot I mentored a wee bit, and with permission from his parents, I would like to share it with you guys. Check it out.
Here it comes, the moment we've struggled for. Like the Jews reaching the promised land after wandering in the desert for 40 years. Ray, what do you call it? Gateway. Something's going to happen before you get there, I know it. So you're going to get pulled over. Well, that's his son. Now find Ray Gateway. Are you too close? Are you burning up? Do you see it? Do you see it?
Yes, I do.
All right, go on, go to it.
There it is.
And you are in. You made it, buddy. And look at all you learned along the way.
I feel excuse me. I feel experienced.
What do you have to say to Mr. Link Savage VR?
Thank you. I praise you.
Thank you very much for the video, young Padawan. Since the making of this video, he has upgraded to a dolphin, I must say, but as a thank you, this Space Vehicle Virgins episode will feature the ship he used when making his video, the Viper MKIII. Small, fast, powerful, and a true contender for bounties across the bubble, next on Space Vehicle Virgins. The Viper MKIII is a classic in almost every sense of the word. The Viper has a total of 4 iterations, but of the 4, the MKIII reigns supreme. Everything from the crackles and pops of the engines to the visible wear and tear on the interior, the Viper wears its age with pride. You will never fly a brand new MKIII. It is a true classic ship that never fails to get the job done. The Viper is the first vehicle many will obtain to dip their toes into the art of bounty hunting. But this is a ship that you will enjoy even if bounty hunting isn't your thing. Boasting 4 hardpoints, the Viper dishes out some decent damage. The Viper, however, has a hidden superpower: racing. Yes, racing. When properly engineered with enhanced thrusters coupled with its low price, the Viper MKIII is the ship of choice for canyon races. Sure, the Courier is faster, but the Viper couples speed and handling with a forgiving rebuy. That beats it hands down. In fact, the Viper Canyon races were held on Distant Worlds 2, just outside of Jacques. Take a look.
20,000 years to the future.
I came down for you 'cause I love you. Do you believe? station. Undetermined navigation set the engine burning. Ain't nothing like me in the air. Catch me if you can. Ain't nothing like me in the air. Catch me if you can. 'Cause we don't belong. We're aliens here, but I know a place where we can love without fear. I'm taking you home 100 light years. Let me take you to the future. 'Cause we don't belong. We're aliens here, but I know a place where we can love without fear. I'm taking you home 100 light years. Let me take you to the future. Let me take you to the future.
In the final decade of the 21st century, men and women in rocket ships landed on the
Let me
moon.
take you to the future.
It isn't all roses, however. The power plant holds this ship back, much like it does for the Vulture. It is not easy to find the right loadout with the right amount of damage with this ship. That's the rub. You'll want more power eventually, in spite of this ship being so enjoyable. The price makes it disposable, but it will sting a little when you realize you just need more. But this does not and should not stop you from throwing a quick build together and go rack up the bounties with little worry about the rebuy. The jump range? Yeah, it's abysmal. I mean, you can make it work, but you won't enjoy it if you wish to get to that great planet for the race. I recommend taxiing your ship. The interior of the Viper definitely feels like you're inside of a classic pony car. The ship looks lived in, used, enjoyed. That's part of the charm. Your first Viper is sort of like your first old sports car. There's a lot to do, but the foundation is rock solid and timeless. This is a solo piloted ship, so you will not be able to share the fun with your fellow pilots in this one. The canopy is not bad, but not great, feeling more like a chop top than that huge greenhouse you would get from a Lakon ship. You won't be doing much in the way of transporting things or people either. This is a small ship, so it's just you and the open galaxy. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look under the hood for this particular build of the Viper MKII. Now, this particular build was actually made to just do bounty hunting, but I had to get some engineering done, so in the optionals there is something here that really doesn't need to be here. 9 times out of 10 you won't be using your Viper to actually travel anywhere. I recommend that you taxi it. You know, you use a high jumping ship to get out to wherever it is you need to get to, and then just have your Viper delivered on over. The delivery is cheap. The Viper itself is cheap. Look at the insurance cost on it. It's only 241,000 credits. But this is why you won't be traveling with it. You can only fit a 3H Guardian frameshift drive booster on this. With that, plus having the frameshift drive modified, and that's been modified for FSD range and mass manager. I tried both experimentals and very little difference. And what I'm getting is 28.87 light years. That's kind of terrible. There are jumps you can't make because of the limitation. There are certain jumps that you just can't do. And that's one of the drawbacks. Nothing is perfect. This is not a ship meant to, traverse the, trip the galaxy fantastic. It's a ship that was meant to collect bounties and do it efficiently. And it is fantastic at doing that. We take a look at the hard points. Features 4 hard points on a small ship. This is crazy. So you get 2 mediums and 2 small hard points. I fitted this with 2 beam lasers and 2 multi-cannons. You do a little bit of engineering. Before you know it though, your power plant is gonna have an issue. And as we can see here, right now my power plant does have an issue. It's only modified overcharge 1. I figure by the time I actually finish engineering with this, there will be no problems whatsoever, but you definitely have to engineer that power plant. Of course, the thrusters are modified with dirty drag as normal. No, this is clean. I did clean. Why did I do clean? I did clean for some reason. Oh, I did clean for the power. That's why I did clean. Clean drive tuning with drag drives. But I did that specifically for power. Because once you get to your, now that everything is done, so let's say engineering is done, and I swap this out for whatever the heck else I want. We'll do a module reinforcement. Why not? Just to show you. So even with that gone, I still have a power problem. And then, let's say I'm not doing any planetary landings whatsoever. Let's take that out of the equation. And we'll put on another hull reinforcement. Still having a problem. I am still 1.96 megawatts too much. And this is what I mean when I say that you're gonna start running into power problems with this ship. But if you can overcome the power problems with engineering, this ship is amazing, absolutely amazing. It's about as much firepower as the Vulture almost. I mean, it's got twice the hard points, but the Vulture uses heavier weapons. Otherwise, we're looking at the advanced docking computer. The advanced docking computer is actually really cool. I like that it takes off for me because I can take off and I can land. I have no problem with it. I just love the added convenience. It makes it feel like I'm flying a expensive ship. And then after that, you put a 1A fuel scoop in here. You're not getting a lot of fuel back. You're spending a lot of time roasting under a sun. But you do have the additional 1 slot, so you can pop in another hull reinforcement. So building it to actually do some combat and enjoy that combat, very easy to do. You're definitely going to want to upgrade that power plant. You're definitely going to want to make sure that your thrusters are all good. Having something decent for thrusters is going to just make the experience better. And of course, if you go crazy and get the enhanced thrusters, forget it. You're out racing everything. And otherwise, I mean, for the utility, you only get 2 utility mounts, and one that you're gonna definitely want your kill warrant scanner, and you're gonna get a shield booster in there. That's about it. There's not much that you can get out of it, but man, for such a small ship, this is a lot of fun to go with. I definitely think it has a place in every pilot's fleet, definitely. So let's go ahead and take it out through its paces. In fact, we're in my home system of Jonai. So why don't we just take a jaunt to one of the moons? See you guys out there. To have some fun with this special episode, we're hanging out in my home system, Jonai, the home of the wolves of Jonai. The canyons here are plentiful and beautiful with our many ridge-rich moons and ringed planets. So let's hop in and see what this can do when we put it through its paces. So here we are out here in Jonai 2. This is an amazing ice moon in my home turf. And this is the home of the Wolves of Jonai. That is the squadron I am a part of. And we're very territorial. Kind of fits my profile. But in usual Space Vehicle Virgins fashion, we came out here to check out the canyons. And of course, that's enough. Thank you. Probably die. Anyhow, before I was so rudely interrupted, we came on out here to put the Viper through its paces. Now, the fun part about the Viper is that it is often used in the canyon races. As you saw earlier, this was the ship of choice for the canyon runs that were taking place in Colonia during the Distant Worlds 2 expedition, which just wrapped up. Kind of awesome. But I just want you to realize how that it is. Now, this is not the fastest Viper out there. This doesn't have the enhanced drives because this is a small ship. It can use the enhanced engines, the enhanced thrusters, which would be amazing, but its small size means you can really throw it around. When it comes to bounty hunting, the only ship that is preferred over this ship seems to be the Vulture. And for obvious reasons. I mean, it's a more powerful ship and it can hold 2 pilots. This is definitely a solo experience. It is just you and your bounty. Ever want to know what it felt like to be Boba Fett? But flying it around, it just feels great. Absolutely amazing to fly. You have a lot of control. You can just skim the rocks. Now, this control translates very well to combat. The heat generation is not too terrible. Now, this one I do believe is this one suffering? Yeah, this one is suffering. It's using 108% of the power. So it is definitely a power-hungry beast, and you are going to want to upgrade the power plant as quickly as you possibly can. And I would say save the thrusters for later. You could do your regular engineering on the thrusters. You don't really need to go with the enhanced thrusters, but if you decide to put this away and only use it for racing after you, say, maybe have upgraded to a Vulture or some other machine that you are really enjoying doing bounties in, definitely go on ahead and grab some of those enhanced thrusters, pop those suckers on, and oh man, I think I saw one of these things hitting 700 before. That's absolutely insane. Being a small ship, it can of course land on any station that you would need to land on, which, you know, is helpful for a small ship. It's got a nice boost sound, but here is where it starts to feel like and sound like an old muscle car. All those snaps and pops. So of course we're going to do our standards. We're going to do our boosted flip, our non-boosted flip, our stationary flip, FA off, see how it goes.
FA off.
That's boosted with the flight assist off. Very quick. I'm going to do boosted without. Likewise, very quick. Going to do a standing with nothing. So as you can see, I mean, you get a lot of maneuverability with this. Let's just get on up to max speed with a boost. We're gonna do a regular one with it off. Yeah, you're definitely not losing your target. It's not eagle fast. Understand that. It's definitely not eagle fast. But what you give up in terms of that eagle speed in their turns, in their pitch turns and whatnot, you make up for in control. Because the one thing I have noticed about a Spiegel is that it is very hard to control. The speed is nice, but what good is it when you're blowing up all the damn time? I definitely enjoyed recording them racing in the canyons. And I definitely enjoy just running it through. Now, of course, I mean, I'm trying not to do anything nuts because, you know, I'm recording. And I don't want to ruin the recording with a boom death. But it's definitely a ship you could have a lot of fun with outside of bounty hunting. That was fun. Absolutely fun. I mean, you know, when it comes down to the final verdict on this, I think it has a place in every pilot's armada. Every fleet should have at least one, even if only for fun. You're definitely going to want to taxi this ship around though, because the jump range is absolutely terrible. You can't fit a 5H in here. I think the highest you can get in here is a 3H in terms of the Guardian booster, so you're not really getting that much additional jump. It's enough, but if you decide that you want to take this on something as crazy as Distant Worlds 2, you're going to be hurting. A lot of these were actually purchased at Jacques just for the purpose of the race. That's how cheap of a ship it is to buy. It is definitely a disposable ship, and meaning that, you know, if you don't have one and you just want to build one, you can. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to build it, not hard to A-rate it. If you have any of the engineers open, definitely not hard to engineer it, and to engineer it to the top of its game even. So I definitely recommend it. It's definitely not a Cobra. It is definitely not a Vulture. But for that solo experience, absolutely fantastic. Especially, and you know me, I just like flying around these canyons. So let's head on back to home base and wrap this sucker up with a final verdict. So that is the Viper MKII, an amazing classic ship that needs a home in every pilot's fleet. Thank you again for watching this special episode of Space Vehicle Virgins, and a big shout out to Donkey Ace for recording his progress in Elite Dangerous. Check out this kid's YouTube channel linked below. So that's all for this episode of Space Vehicle Virgins. We have plenty of ships to look at and fly. Be sure to hit that like button below, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you'll be alerted as to when new videos are uploaded. Till next time, I am Link Savage, and I'm gonna hunt some bounties. Fly right and see you in the black.